top of the map. Oh, never mind.
I got thermite.
You played yourself.
No.
You played yourself.
He's still out there. Greg, you could probably run out on him.
Yep.
Side dudes, welcome to another Operator How-To. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the most recently released Italian operators from the GIS. Alibi and Thica Boy.
That's a thick ass boy! Damn!
Pizza Time operatives bring a lot of interesting tricks to the table and are some of my favorite characters to be added to the game in a long time. Getting the most out of these operators' gadgets is probably the most tricky aspects of them. I'll try to keep it simple in this section and get to the more complex stuff later on in the video. Maestro has a gadget he's jokingly called the Evil Eye, for reasons unrelated to Italian stereotypes, I'm sure.
The fucking eye!
The Evil Eye acts as a camera and as a harassment tool. At the surface, while the cute evil-looking little robot looks harmless enough, it can actually fire a deadly laser that can down and kill enemies with consecutive shots.
Hey.
Alibi's gadget is the only jutsu that Naruto is particularly good at without the assistance of plot convenience. She can deploy up to 3 shadow clones at once. The more creative you can get with them, the better. The Italian faction-specific weapons are the ACS-12 fully automatic meme and the Bailiff and Karatos revolvers. The ACS is a meme that's only really good for deleting walls. The Karatos fires bullets, the Bailiff fires shotgun shells, which can be used to make murder holes and to destroy hatches. Let's start with this handsome bastard. Look at that thick-ass boy. Maestro is a 3-armored, ACOG-wielding, anchor-type character with a unique primary weapon, the Alda 556, which is basically an melee, which is basically an MG3, which is basically an MG42. This thing even makes Mira a little bit uncomfortable in terms of fire rate. Its DPS is the highest of any LMG, but it comes with a little bit of kick to circumvent that. It's equipped with a big box magazine that can be used for suppressive fire. One of the more notable quirks about this gun is its really tight hipfire spread that allows you to keep drop-shotting even after the nerf.
Oh my god, Gregor. You're so fucking toxic.
It's great for tap firing from afar, and then spraying down opponents when they get a little too close for comfort. As far as optics, you can use the ACOG or the close-range optics. The close-range optics actually work pretty well on this gun if you want to do a little bit of close-range fragging, but I like to take advantage of the ACOG to get shots on enemies from afar. Try to tap fire as much as you can while aiming at long distances, and short 3-round bursts when they're a little bit closer. You can see why the flash hider would be a good choice on this gun then. Try not to get caught with your pants down with this gun's long reload. The ACS-12 has absolutely absurd amounts of meme potential, with its ability to renovate your interior space faster than Tim the Toolman himself. It certainly is useful for setting up some tricky Maestro camera positions, if nothing else. You can set up your Maestros on spammable floors to look below into the site or in rooms adjacent to it.
Are you guys a pre-made?
Being able to delete walls is admittedly quite fun, but the gun itself is not particularly good for combat. Anywhere but dick slapping range is highly ineffective with this thing, and I wouldn't really bring it as a serious weapon choice. In terms of your gadget, you get 2 of these things. They can deploy on pretty much any flat surface, and they have 2 modes, a shielded and unshielded mode. While shielded, the camera is impervious to bullets, but can be destroyed with explosives and Sledge's hammer. While unshielded, the camera can fire a deadly laser that deals a little damage per shot for 20 consecutive times before overheating. It can harass enemies while they make pushes, deter diffuser plants, and even down and kill low-health attackers. It can also destroy enemy gadgets like drones and breaching charges. It's countered by Thatcher EMPs and Twitch drones that can zap it and put it out of commission for a little while. A good trick with the Zappy Cam is to place it over top of a hatch, then blow out said hatch. This will make it impossible for Sledge to sledgehammer it. For good spots, I'd suggest watching some PL games and paying attention to what the Maestro is doing in the prep phase. Let's talk about Alibi. Alibi is your new favorite anime character. Sorry, Vigil. The MX4 Storm SMG is comparable to Ella's SMG in a lot of ways, so if you like playing her for the gun, I think you'll like Alibi too. It has a very high rate of fire and just enough recoil to make lucky headshots a common occurrence for me anyway, plus it has a nice quippy reload. You'll notice that in all of my clips for Alibi, I'm not using the foregrip. This is for a number of reasons. For one, the gun is already pretty easy to control without the foregrip. It's quite handy also when you consider how you play Alibi, and that relies on her shadow clones. When shot, passed through by enemies, or passed through by drones, for some reason, your decoys will reveal the location of an attacker in a jackalish sort of style for a little while. Alibi's decoys are a little bit difficult for me to really explain how to play because they're really up to the imagination. You can throw a bunch of holograms next to each other and make the enemy guess which one to shoot. In the time that they hesitate to pick a target, you can pick them off. You can see why the angle grip is useful there. You can throw decoys in windows to bait the enemy into shooting them and reveal their location, then get a pick when they ignore you standing in a hologram.
Blitz outside.
You can throw holograms outside to mimic common runouts and get an idea of how many people spawn there.
You saw me?
This dude.
You can throw decoys all around the objective room to make it confusing for the enemy to push. You can hide out of sight from one of your decoys, then get the drop on an enemy distracted by them. There is a degree of luck involved in making these things work sometimes, but I think that with enough practice, you could get really, really tricky with these things. The other reason that I use an angled grip is that it's harder for attackers to discern whether or not I'm a hologram or not. The hand positioning of Alibi holding onto the foregrip is distinctly different. Alibi's decoys will provide a reflection of her default character model, holding an MX4 with no attachments. This basically means that there's no point in putting any camos or revealing attachments on, which I get it. Like, I understand the idea is being able to do 500 level IQ strats and run a default Alibi, but at the same time it basically removes customization options for a character completely, and I think that's kind of dumb. It's not like the decoy reflecting her character model would make her particularly broken. It's not particularly a big deal to me, but it would be nice to actually have a reason to get skins for this character. In the meantime, I run Alibi with a reflex sight, angled grip, and flash hider, which in my experience are pretty tough to spot. No camos, no different headgear or uniform. The Keratos is also a very powerful backup weapon. In conclusion, I like both of these new operators a lot. A lot of you are also going to ask, which one should I buy? I wouldn't really recommend adding these characters to your roster until you're really comfortable with what their job entails. Despite how complex these characters are compared to their counterparts, I really do enjoy playing them a lot, and if anything, they're just fun to play. And maybe that's more important to some people than just being meta to play. And that's all you need to know about the operatives from Il Gruppo d'Intervento Speciale.
Good shit.
We have a cam in garage.
1 op 4. Op 4 eliminated.
Now I'm still trying to finish these operator guides, so let me know which ones I should do next in the poll attached here. #GameGang. Take it easy. Deuces.